Okay, folks, it's Mike's Instant Movie Reviews. Of course, we're seeing a movie. Masked is about exiting. It's still daylight. Been having this interesting phenomena when I see one of these movies. It's like it rains when I'm in the theater. It's been happening quite a bit. I just saw 42. It's a movie I've seen before in the theater. I want to say it came out in 2016. Really saw this movie as a personal tip of the hat, so to speak, to Chadwick Boseman. Very sorry that he passed away at the young age of 43. And obviously he's known for Black Panther, but this other movie, 42, quite a good film. If you haven't seen it, it's part of this comeback classics that's occurring in many theaters. This is the wonderful Regal Theater. I like the theater myself. During this whole COVID situation, it was feared that that theater would no longer be in business, but it is. So I encourage people to support your local movie theater. Now, these Mike's Instant Movie Reviews have not been my most watched aspect of the Mike Messier reboot on the YouTube channel, but I'm hoping you fine folks can share these reviews, share the link, copy and paste. It's not that hard, no offense. Select all on the URL, copy the URL, and paste in your own social media outlets, your Twitters, your whatever the fucks. So let's review this movie. It's a good movie. I think I liked it more the second time, to be honest. Maybe that's the current events, so to speak. When I was a kid, and I've spoken to this with a few of my friends, we all thought that, racism was not over, but contained, or racism was a problem that we had figured out, and we were all so open-minded and enlightened. But as we've seen the last several years, that's really not the case. And I'm sure that depending on who you are and what you've experienced in life, you might say that things never got better, or they've gotten progressively worse, or whatever. But people need to see these type of films, I think, to kind of learn the history of these situations. Jackie Robinson, the first African-American or black, or as they said at the time, Negro, because of the Negro baseball leagues, a player of color, so to speak, to play in the National Major League Baseball, MLB. So it's very interesting movie, and of course watching it with kind of two sets of eyes. First for the film itself, and secondly for the performance of Chadwick. And what I like about him as an actor, how do I say this? He kind of disappears into the role. Like he's someone else might give a more glamorous performance or something like that, if that's the word, or a more show-offy performance. But this gentleman as an actor really just kind of blends into the role and does a nice underperformance, meaning that he's not looking for big moments. He's not looking for clips for his acting reel. He's not, like, no offense to an Al Pacino, but he's not looking to make a catchphrase at all. I saw a little bit of, if you've looked into this, folks, I'm not making this up, but if you look into that whole white savior complex with films, I've watched some videos on that. This film kind of has an element of that with the Harrison Ford character, with the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time, but I think it's justified, meaning that I think it's, hey, look, the Brooklyn Dodgers were the first team. He was the first owner to bring in a black ball player, and so that's an aspect of the story I was not really familiar with until seeing this film. Can you say, or could one say that that's that they heightened the Ricky character, the owner, for the white comfort level? Maybe, it's up to you. to decide, but I think it might be justified in this one. The female lead, Jackie's wife, is very good. I mean, she doesn't have a lot to do other than be supportive. She does offer some baseball advice at one point in the film. There's some good supporting characters, his teammates, you know, who kind of have their own little arc. And some players just were not comfortable with the situation, so they got their asses traded to Pittsburgh. The manager of the Philadelphia Phillies seems like a real racist asshole in this film. I will do some research because I just was curious, you know, how some of these things, like the cover of the magazine with Jackie and the Phillies manager, I'd like to see that actual cover, and so on and so forth. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it worth seeing? Yes. If you're, you know, Wakanda forevering, hashtagging, I would say once you're done with that and watching that movie a few times, give this one a shot. You know, 42 if you haven't seen it. You know, when I went in to see this movie today, I was not the only one in the theater. There was actually 3 people, including myself, on a Sunday matinee. And the gentleman, who was probably in his 60s, another guy in the theater, he went up to the ticket counter and said, "I'd like 1 ticket for the baseball picture, 42. Like, he actually said that, the baseball picture. And of course, the 16-year-old girl working behind the counter had no fucking clue what he was talking about. So there you have it, folks. It is a generational gap. We're trying to hold on to some dignity as those that remember things. And I'm sure that there are elements in society that's been forgotten, the ancient Greek platypus or something that we've forgotten about. But for those of us that are trying to hold on to these memories and these important things, that's why these movies exist, hopefully to keep people interested. Now, Chadwick, obviously it's a shame, it's a sad thing. He died of this cancer, and I don't know anyone that hasn't been affected by cancer, either having cancer yourself or a relative or a friend or several. Why is there fucking cancer? Well, it's probably all the plastic bottles and all the goddamn sodas and corn syrups and all the crap in our ocean. So all the things that we do or don't do to our environment and for our environment, that just leads to these cancer-causing issues. And I can't give you the fucking solution for the riddle, folks. But when people say they want to fight cancer, the way to fight it is not to get in the first place. And the only way to not get it is to clean up our fucking environment, which we're so goddamn far gone from. It's hard to say how we'll exactly figure that one out. So I don't have all the answers, assholes. I really don't. But as far as this movie goes, 42, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Chadwick Boseman. If I'm saying his last name properly, I hope that I am. Great performance, really understated. And, you know, solid film. I don't recall if this film was, you know, lauded and applauded and a big box office hit. I think it was a success, but maybe if they had labeled it or titled it The Jackie Robinson Story, I don't know if that was not available as a title for some reason, or Jackie or something like that, or Jackie Robinson or something. Just something. I think that although 42 is, you know, for sports fans synonymous with Jackie Robinson, I don't know if the non-sports fan got it, the title. I could be wrong. Anyway, it's Mike Messier. All the wonderful things on the Mike Messier YouTube channel. The Messier Mantra, of course. The new series, Caitlin's Monologues with Mike Messier, Messier Peace Theater. I'm putting new archived footage from my life, from the Suicide Girls on the original Mike Messier show, the Pro Wrestling Rants, all the wonderful things I do for you fucks for free. You should be watching, you should be copying these URLs, you should be sharing these things. Don't hold on to these videos like they're going out of season. Share them with the world. They're not just for you fucks to enjoy, they're for you to share with your asshole friends on social media. Then you can go to MikeMessier.com, you can go to my IMDb page, you can do all the wonderful things you can do to support and honor me. Mike Messier with the tip of the fucking hat, the Chadwick Boseman in 42.